What is going on, everybody? How is everybody's weekend? TG back with another video, giving you guys a pretty special video, an article in the news about our favorite Alibaba stock. Not a positive one, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is about a trader who lost $400,000 on Alibaba. I was reading the news and I read this and my jaw just dropped reading this. I wanted to go over it with you guys. Because as you guys know, Baba has done some things to me as well. Knocked me down $60,000. Took out half of my portfolio in just a couple of months. Not been good at all. Have a lot of beef with Baba. And yeah, so let's actually talk about what happened with this trade, who this guy is, and how this happened. So 26-year-old kid comes out of college, getting a nice little job, making some money, very conservative on his spending. You know, talks about how he didn't spend much, bought like a laptop, phone, that's about it. Very, very safe. And it didn't start with Alibaba, it started off with AMC actually. A lot of people started off AMC, made good money on that, made some decent money. And then he decided to buy calls in Alibaba. Now, we all know what happened with Alibaba. Alibaba in February was a juggernaut. We look back at Baba last February. We got to go all the way back here. Right about here. Alibaba is doing exceptionally well. Climbed from, January all the way up here, almost 20%, sitting higher on $270 a share. This man goes all in on calls, $300 strike. Every single liquid asset in his account, threw it into Baba, and for the 200 strike price, which if you notice, that's deep in the money. So these are actually safe because they weren't out of the money, they were deep in the money. And what happened? Well, for those of you who are in Alibaba like I was in a little background about me. I was in Alibaba for well over a year. I got in last November. So, it's December now. So I got in, basically 13 months ago, and I held it for about a year, and then I ended up selling as well. But, this guy gets in February, goes, balls deep into calls, and then the next 10 days it dropped 30%, and it continued to fall and fall. But what kind of shocks me about this is, his mom was telling him to get out. And this is the same thing that happened to me. Like, my father, who is an investor as well, told me to get out of Baba. He said, get out of China. This is terrible. And I said the same thing. Like, it's crazy. I was literally like, no, it's going to recover. Like, it's so undervalued. And I was saying this when this was like 190. And then it just kept falling and falling. But, a lot of us have this conviction of Baba. A lot of us see a company with revenue growth that is huge. We look at this and we look at on an annual basis, and we see this revenue growth, we see this profit growth, and we're like, there's no way. 40% year-over-year growth. And we just don't see how a stock like that can continue to fall. And so when it falls, we're like, oh, it becomes more and more attractive. So I bought initially at $260 a share when I made my first video about Alibaba. I just sold a put on it. And this continued when it hit 250, 240, and then when it dropped under 200, then 190, 180. It just kept going and going and going. And this one really hits me hard because I specifically remember my dad telling me the same thing. He's like, get out of Baba, get out of China. President Xi is freaking crazy. Get out of that company. Get out of that country. I didn't listen. And because of it, every day I didn't listen, I lost more and more. And a lot of you guys know, if you're in Baba, you look at the Hong Kong market. Every night I would go like this. I would type in my computer Baba HK, and I would go and I would look at 9988. I'd click this website right here, Ethernet, and I would look at Baba, and I would look at what the stock was doing and what was happening at 9:30 at night, and this would continue till like 1 a.m. until I went to sleep. And then I would wake up, and then I would check Baba pre-market. And it would just destroy me. I'm checking. It's a nonstop. It's literally nonstop. And this kid, or this man, I guess he's older than me, basically did the same thing. He kept looking over and over every day. You're checking the U.S. market. You're checking Hong Kong, and you're just constantly watching it. And he talked about how, if his company hadn't paid him at the end of July, he wouldn't have made rent. Like, that's scary stuff, guys. Like, so it's sad to see. I mean, this is his account right now. I don't know if you guys can see that, but lost everything, all 100%, $374,000 US. I mean, that is so much money. I look at my 60,000 and I struggle to sleep at night thinking about that. But, I have peace of mind about it now. I realize that, I made a big mistake. I learned a very, very valuable lesson at the age of, 22 years old. And it's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. And I'll eventually be able to make that money back in a couple of years of hard work and, saving. But almost $400,000 that's no joke. I mean, that's some serious money. And, I think as traders, we know what it's like with this. We know what it's like to be depressed from losing money. We know what it's like to beat ourselves up about it. I beat myself up about it. I don't even want to tell you some of the stuff that I said to myself, some of the stuff I did. I was so, sad and just depressed because of what happened. You see this just looks like a regular chart. This is just lines on a computer screen, but to some people it's all their money. Some people it's everything they ever invested in. And people lost big because of it. So you have the mental toll that it's taken on some individuals, just the constant pressure of watching it throughout market days and on the New York Stock Exchange, and then going over to the Hong Kong market and checking on HSI. And it's just extremely unhealthy. And this just hits me deep because I freaking can relate to this so much, sadly. And I just hope that no one ever has to deal with that again. So a lot of you guys who watch these videos are deep into Alibaba because you have high convictions like I did. I still have high convictions on Baba, but I can't go through that mentally again. Money's not worth it if you're freaking stressed all the time, if you can't sleep, if you're trying to enjoy your life but you can't focus because you're focused on freaking Hong Kong and what President Xi's going to do next, or whether they're going to miss earnings, whether it's going to crash again. It's just not worth it for me. It's not worth it for a lot of people, depending on what you value in life. I'm someone that, now, after learning some hard lessons, values time so much, stress-free life so much. And, stuff like this, it's just crazy. You talked about how it changes perspective. It changed my perspective as well. It really changed my perspective. I flew too close to the sun. I trusted in a Chinese company and I lost big. He lost big. Learn lessons. You don't freaking trust in the Chinese. You don't invest your money in a country of where communism is, where radical people are, where human rights violations happen on a day-to-day basis by the government. So I decided I'd share that with you guys, share what happened to this gentleman and kind of what happened to me as well. But I learned some lessons for it. This guy clearly learned his lessons as well, and yeah, it's just hard to look at. It's hard to see and reminisce on what happened with me and my journey with Baba. Again, I look at these numbers and I can barely believe it. It just hurts. It really hurts to see, but I think things will hopefully turn around for people. Hopefully, get out there and get out of this somehow. But yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. I'll leave you guys with your own thoughts to think about on this and what you guys believe. But it's been a rough journey for a lot of people with this stock, and a lot of people have gotten the living crap beat out of them financially because of it, mentally because of it, and some even physically as well. But that's all I can really say about it for now. I wish you guys the best of luck. I wish you guys health, happiness, prosperity, and if you guys enjoy this video or enjoy the videos that I make, consider subscribing. It means a lot to me, and I'll definitely make more videos about this for you guys. So If you guys want to check, again, if you're checking and want to check out live quotes on BABA, you go to this website right here, etnet.com, when the Hong Kong market's open. And then obviously BABA is the U.S. ticker on the New York Stock Exchange. So, but you don't really want to drive yourself crazy now, do you? So, guys, have a wonderful night. I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Goodbye.